Hello, my name is Ifran, and this is my first video portfolios. And I am, as you can see, I am using Cam Studio open source, it's a freeware. As this is my first video portfolio, please bear with me, as there might be some discrepancies and mistakes. So let me start by introducing what we'll be talking about. We'll be talking about Citrix server. In particular, we will be talking about Citrix presentation server 4 and the newer version of it, Citrix XenApp 6. So basically, after I started in ICT in Mana Resort and Spa, that was way back in 2012. A year later, I was given the responsibility of getting a newer version of Citrix, and the main issue here was we were not sure if the current set of applications were going to run on the Citrix newer version of the Citrix presentation, Citrix XenApps. So I did a little bit of research. So firstly, I would like to show you our current Citrix server. Current Citrix server. That's our current Citrix server. It's Windows Server. The operating system is Windows Server 2003, and some specs about it. There's the host name. It's a standalone, normal. It's registered to Mana Resort and Spa. It's Orleans ML350 generation 5. It's 32-bit system. It's quite old. Along with it, the application Citrix presentation server is quite old also. So basically what happened was our management decided it's about time we have a new set of new Citrix server and a new Citrix presentation that is Citrix XenApp 6, because the users were facing a lot of issues. So looking at the desktop, as you can see, this one, and these ones are all the published applications by the Citrix application itself. It's publishing these applications. What basically it does by publishing is, let's say, like in our case, we have an island-based resort in the Mamonodos, Fiji Islands, and we have a head office which is based in Nadi, Fiji Islands. So the geographical locations are two very different. We have a wide area network, so we wanted to publish applications so that both the island users and the head office users could use the same applications with the same server and the same sets of databases where all the information is installed is based on one server only. So we decided to use Citrix server, and now we have to upgrade it to a newer version of Citrix. So as you can see, this is a published version of materials control, which I will talk to you about a bit later, and this is a normal application that is installed on the server itself. And then this is a normal Opera, which is a property management system, manages our guest in-house, and that's the published version of the server itself. With Opera, it's not an application itself, but what happens is you install it on Internet Explorer, and then the Internet Explorer communicates with the server itself. It's a web browser application which communicates to the server itself. It opens portals for users, but the portals are actually based on the server itself. So let me start with the published application first. So as you can see, it's going through all the protocols, it's checking the credentials and then logging into the Citrix. And let's see. Basically with materials control, what happens is we have island users doing patches requests, and then it goes to head off to our patching teams, which go through the request and check if it is authorized properly. If it is authorized properly, then they create patches orders for the suppliers, and then we have internal requests, inter-department transfers and stuff like that, and then we have inventories and recipes and productions for the food and beverage team usually. So that's the basics of materials controls. And as you can see, that's the normal. There's a normal application installed. It does not go through the Citrix protocols, and it logs onto the server itself. That means the materials control server itself. So this shortcut is accessing the application directly to the server. This shortcut is accessing through Citrix server. So that's the basic background behind this video portfolio, and I had the tedious task of analyzing the newer version of Citrix, XenApp 6, that is XenApp 6, if it was compatible with our current sets of applications, that is usually materials control and Opera. And just background on Opera, I just want to show you what Opera is really all about. This Opera is materials control in head office is used by our purchasing team, and Opera is used by our sales and reservations team to make portfolios of our guests, make reservations, and then obviously on the island side it is used by our front office staff to do check-ins for the guest, manage guests, their rooms, and all those stuff. And then we have obviously some background like getting revenues and other stuffs. So that's Opera for you. Let's have a look. It's a property management system. The supplier, as you can see, is Micros. It's taking a bit of a time. It's probably because I have a lot of graphical user interface open and it's using a chunk of the RAM itself. So yeah, basically we have reservations, front desk, cashiering, all. We have guest check-in, and then the back office of it, the IR is like accounts receivable, end of day reports, rolling over, and then we have miscellaneous. So this basically deals with guest, their reservations and their portfolios. So let's close that one and log off, and then close this one. So basically I had to ensure that these applications could be run in head office itself. So what I did, I went to Citrix Online, did a little bit of research, and I came across this one this download where it says XenApp 6 evaluation. So basically what happens, it's a virtual machine. The operating system is Windows Server 2008 R2, and XenApp 6 evaluation is installed on that operating system, and then I got a normal license. And then obviously what I did, I had Zen server which is a free version of a server. I could have used Microsoft Hyper-V, but I preferred not to use it. So what happened back in 2012, I had a Dell machine. I think it was Dell 755. So what I did, I changed some visualization settings in the boot menu, and then I installed XenServer free edition on it, and then the XenServer hosted the virtual machine that is containing the XenApp 6. So it hosted Windows Server 2008, which had XenApp inside it, and then obviously it came with all the information about allocating licenses and the configuration support and the frequently asked questions. So basically I don't have a live system of it, but when I was working on it way back in 2013, I took some snapshots, and hopefully that will be more than enough for my video portfolio. So looking at the first snapshot, this is the snapshot of the XenServer that is installed on Dell 755. Later on I'll show you a shortcut on my client machine where you can access, it's a Zen Center, you can access all these settings, and as you can see you can create new virtual machines, and then the virtual machine Windows Server 2008 R2 is hosted on the Zen server itself. Okay, moving on. This is a snapshot of the Windows Server 2008 R2 Enterprise that is hosting the XenApp 6. As you can see, I have installed materials control on that server. You can see shortcuts like the licenses I got, and then the shortcuts to some real good information. And there's the Citrix delivery console. So this basically handles all your delivery from the server, all your delivery details and all your delivery troubleshootings from the Citrix server to your client users. So that's the shortcut for it. And then I installed materials control on it, and then I installed the web, as I've told you before, the web browser application that is Opera. So moving on to our next snapshot. So this is the Citrix delivery service console I was talking about. As you can see it's a XenApp demo. I have installed these two applications, that's material control and Opera on the server itself, and then I have marked the shortcuts through this delivery system. And obviously you can add users here and applications. You can do load balancing, and then you can have your policies here. You can see your users, you have your alerts and all those things from the delivery console itself. Okay, so that's the basic information about that. And then moving on, this next snapshot. So that's basically Opera that is installed on the Citrix server, and then obviously this will be published to all the users in head office. This is just a test, so it's not gonna be, actually it's just gonna be published for users to test only. And then moving on, as you can see, this is my client computer. This is the shortcut I was talking to you about earlier. Using this you can access the console for the Zen server itself. You can manage your virtual machines, their RAMs and stuff like that. And then obviously you can see a shortcut here is running through the client. I installed a client application on the client computer, and then the published applications are available for the user to use from the client computer. As you can see, I have a few open here. And moving on to the last, and this is something additional I tried to see if our applications could be published on a, let's say, web interface, because at that time I realized that we had a few users going abroad, especially from a sales and reservations team. So I was just thinking, maybe if it was publishable by the web interface, it will be much more easier for them to use once they go abroad. So that's basically it of what I did to test the current set of applications on a newer version of XenApp 6 for our current set of applications. And that's all there is to it. Thank you for listening and watching my video.